Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to be discussing about ransomware, the types of ransomware, and how you can defend yourself against ransomware. So let's get into it. So first of all, we need to know what is ransomware, right? So ransomware is a type of malware that locks or encrypts your device or network and demands a payment in order to unlock or decrypt. So what do I mean by that? So let's say there is you click a suspicious link or you download something from an unknown website, and then all of a sudden you cannot use your regular files that you normally use, and they're encrypted basically, and you cannot access them. So that type of ransomware is called crypto ransomware, where the attacker or the adversary encrypts your files, and in order to access the files, you need the decryption key, right? Which the attacker has. So they basically demand a payment in order to provide you the decryption key. Now, obviously, they are most likely not gonna give you the decryption key. That depends on the attacker and their intention, basically. So that's one of the ransomware types. And the other ransomware type, which people usually get confused with crypto ransomware, most people think they are both the same thing, or they are closely similar, but actually the next type is locker ransomware, where the locker ransomware basically blocks basic computer functions. Now, what do I mean by that? So, let's say you are on your computer and you're suddenly logged out or signed out, and then you receive a pop-up window, or you see like a message on your screen that says, click on this button to make a payment. So your mouse is only like what you can interact with is only this message, but other functions such as opening your startup menu or opening any applications or any of that is not possible. So the only possible interaction is interacting with the message that the adversary or the attacker have implemented. Now, how do you know, or how do ransomware actually spread? So, ransomware actually can spread from multiple things, such as phishing emails, which I will be showing examples of, phishing email, and, how you can avoid, getting phished or getting, scammed. So, first possible first possible place where a ransomware can come from is phishing email. Another would be outdated software. So outdated software can lead to what we call um one second. Uh, so outdated software can lead to what we call vulnerabilities, right? Vulnerabilities. And these vulnerabilities can get exploited exploited by attackers, okay? They basically create what we call an attack vector for the attackers to attack from. So they can take that opportunity and basically implant the ransomware. So that's another way a ransomware can infect your device. And it can also come from, like I said previously, suspicious downloads from, unknown websites or not trusted websites. So these, whatever you're trying to download, like a file or whatever, can contain what we call a payload. It can contain a malicious payload that in that payload, it has a ransomware embedded into it, right? Which is obviously not what you want. So that's another way a attacker can basically implant or yeah, implant ransomware in your device. Now, how can you actually protect yourself from the ransomware attack? So, what you should do is to, of course, not not download is to not download not not to not download suspicious files, to not download suspicious files, and to always go to a trusted website. Now, how do you know if a website is trusted? You can basically do some research on their company, organization, whatever. You can also take a look at the web URL or the link, so to see if it's HTTPS or HTTP. Of course, if it's HTTPS, it's a secure website, while if it's HTTP, it's not secure, right? Not secure. Okay, not secure, right? Now, another way to you can protect yourself is downloading what we call antivirus slash anti-malware software. Now, they're actually both they're closely similar, but they have their own distinctions. And if you want to know more about that, you can let me know down in the comments. I can do a whole separate video talking about antivirus and anti-malware, but they're basically softwares that help you prevent the risk of having ransomware and other malware onto your device. And another way to avoid getting ransomware implanted in your device is to keep your softwares up to date. So don't have any old softwares that, that the attacker can use as a attack vector and then attack from, right? So there's obviously more ways you can protect yourself from these, from basically the ransomware. But what I want to do right now is I want to show you some suspicious emails, an example of suspicious emails. So if you go to your web browser and just type in phishing game, and you can see here there is a jigsaw phishing quiz. So if I click here, so this is basically a quiz to basically see the difference between a trusted email and a phishing email. So if I take the quiz, and when you want to enter your name and email, it doesn't have to be your actual email and name. You just type in like just a random one. So I'm just gonna type in a random name and then a random email. All right. So we can see that we have an email from Luke Johnson 8000 at gmail.com. We can see that he's sending me the email, and we can see the date that he's sending the email from and the subject of the email. So he's basically trying to share with me a Google Doc. And now, most people in this scenario or in this situation, they just like straight on and click open the document, right? But that's actually a very bad idea. So if I hover over this, you can see on my bottom left on the screen, it says HTTP drivegoogle.com. So that's actually a phishing attempt by the sender of the email, which is Luke Johnson. So if I go here and say this is a phishing email, it tells me that, oh, you are correct, you have spotted the URL. Be cautious that hyperlinks and attachments you open from email. So yeah, so once you click the show me button here, it actually shows you and explains to you what I just mentioned. So even if you're like, let's say a beginner or you wanna, understand more about phishing and phishing emails, you can check out the website and the phishing quiz. So we have another um, email. It's from Coca-Cola.com. Coca-Cola. You can see actually their email is not a real email. So this is another way that hackers or adversaries can like attempt to, let you click on it. Like although it says HTTPS, where the hyperlink is directing you to is actually an unknown site. Because if you see on the bottom left, it's like it's not a known public site, right? So if I click phishing here, it tells me that the scam was a real blend of techniques. So if I ask it to basically show me or explain to me, it will tell me the email claims to be from Coca-Cola, like I said, but the sending address is very random and it's not possible for it to be a legitimate email. So basically, this is basically your first sign where you're alerted and you're like, oh, this is actually a phishing email, right? And another thing is that the content in the email and the image is all an image, yeah. So like it's usually when you want to embed the image, it's not usually done in this way. So yeah, and like I said, the hyperlink that's redirecting you to another address is basically a suspicious one, right? So I'm gonna basically end the video here. So if you like more of this type of content and if you like my videos, please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what more you would like to see, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.